Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for the week of April 18th. We're going to just jump right in here, Leo, and see what is going on for you here at this time. This will be part one, and there will be a part two that is linked up down below. But let's see what we have going on for you at this time. It's weird. Three of Swords has been showing up quite a bit in the readings, which is kind of weird. I would definitely watch your health at this time, Leo, but you start off with this Every Steps Count card. It says, there's an advantage in taking things slowly, deep breaths as you fully consider your options. And again, there's been I would use the word diligence here. A lot of people have had the Eight of Pentacles, cards like that. And these cards, whenever I get these cards of diligence, every step counts, make sure you're paying attention to everything that you're doing. To me, it just represents diligence, being diligent, making sure that the things that you're doing are important or are actually leading to progress. My problem with this reading is right here, the Seven of Cups. So you have the Seven of Cups. The High Priestess and the Star kind of wanted to come out together, so I just took them. And the Hermit. The Seven of Cups is I actually like the Seven of Cups, but sometimes I feel like it can be a distraction, or it can say, are the things that you're doing in life, are they leading to forward movement, forward momentum, or are they keeping you stuck? I can't answer that question for you. You have to answer that question yourself, Leo, because I have no clue, right, what you're doing. But I kind of get that feeling for you here. You also have this Bear card that's coming up next, and that Bear card is like a card of digestion. It's like a card of taking in information and allowing it to digest and figuring out, are the things that I'm doing worth it or not? You have the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles, to me, is a card of, is the juice worth the squeeze? Are the things that you're doing, are they important? Are they leading to forward progress or not? I don't know why this is so important this week, but it is. Again, it's come up for almost every single person. The other thing is that you have two sevens here. To me, two sevens represent internal fears that don't exist. So any of the fears that you're having about anything that you're trying to progress, I would let those fears go. Again, you have the High Priestess and the Star coming up together. This gives me vibes of really needing to keep your eye on the prize, really needing to make sure that you are very focused, needing to make sure that you're staying focused on this right here. I think that it's really kind of no coincidence as well that there are 7 white stars and then there's the one big star in the middle. You have the two sevens. I really feel like it's saying there's a bunch of stuff going on around you that could definitely, absolutely be distracting, right? But you need to stay focused on this right here, the star that's in the middle. So that's what I'd be focusing on if I were you. For some of you, I feel like this is asking you to focus on your health. I am not a doctor, so do not take this as medical advice. You have the Star, the High Priestess here, Three of Swords, and then the King of Swords. The King of Swords, to me, could be a doctor. So, again, if you're having a health issue, I would get it taken care of. I like the King of Swords in those situations like health or, anything that requires an expert. Really could be a lawyer or anything like that. The King of Swords to me represents a person who can solve your problems very, very quickly. So it's if you're dealing with something or an issue, any type of issue, find an expert. And it doesn't have to be a king. It doesn't have to be a man. It could be any gender with the King of Swords. But, the King of Swords is just an expert, someone who knows what they're doing. So if you're dealing with any problems that are kind of a mystery with the High Priestess, I feel that for you. The other thing is that I will tell you about the High Priestess is that she has the two pillars here, and there's a lot of different, these are the two pillars that are out front of the Temple of Solomon on the High Priestess. A lot of people ask what they represent, and they can represent a lot of things, but they can represent the dark and the light. They can also represent having a decision to make. They also represent the fact that she is a truly integrated being. The High Priestess, she kind of is a combination of all energies. She takes a neutral approach to anything that she is doing. On top of that, it could represent because it's kind of an esoteric meaning for the High Priestess. It could represent the three pillars that are part of the Tree of Life. And it can represent strength, wisdom, and then she actually would represent the third pillar, which is harmony. She sits in between strength and wisdom, or strength and knowledge, the two things, right? And she is kind of a combination of both, but she represents kind of harmony. And I feel that for you. I feel like if you could kind of mix together all your energies, things will be going very well for you this week, with this energy. So I really like it. But I would definitely stay focused. Again, I would be careful of distractions or anything that seems like a distraction. You have the Knight of Wands here. And what I would say about that Knight of Wands is it's like sometimes I feel like there are situations in life where we feel like they're urgent, or, people in our life make us feel like something is urgent when it really probably isn't. So I would be careful of that, especially if you have anyone who always has a problem, who always has an issue in your life, or if you're dealing with a person who always claims the sky is falling. I would be very careful of that, because again, it could be a distraction. That's just a clue. You have the Hermit here as well. I feel like the Hermit is talking about how far you have come. Like, I feel like you have that every step counts card. He has climbed to the top of the mountain. He is shining his inner light at the top of a mountain. And to me, it's kind of like saying, like, I feel like you need to see how far you have come in life, or like how far, things have come for you. That's really what I feel here with this Hermit card. And I feel like you need to realize that with this energy, that you have come very far. The Hermit the other interesting thing is that he has the star in his lantern here, and it's almost like he's got his star in a cage, or he's got it like in a prison. And I feel like some of you need to kind of like let your star out with this energy, whatever your star is. It's like whatever makes you special, right? Next, you have this Bear card. Again, this is a card of like digestion. It's a card of like processing information and allowing information, taking in information, just like the Seven of Pentacles. It's kind of like a card of analysis. And the Seven of Pentacles is the card of analysis. You have very analytical energy here in your reading. The Hermit, Virgo, analysis. Seven of Pentacles, analysis. So, you could be doing a lot of thinking. This is a card of like hibernation as well. So, some of you, I just feel, I really do feel a sense of urgency, though, is what I would say to you. It's kind of weird, this reading. I think it's weird because I feel like the reading is saying be careful of like people, external things that are telling you that something is urgent, but I do feel like there is a need to kind of take action on something. But again, this would be something, I mean, I think this is the difference. It's like if someone is coming in and claiming that something is urgent, it's like maybe you don't have all the details. The thing that really truly is urgent in your life is something that you do have the details on. Like maybe you've been planning starting a business for like 6 months. It's like you have all the details. You know everything you need to do. Maybe you're planning on growing your business or changing your job or your career. It's like you have all the details already. I feel like you already know like what to do. I feel like you just have to do it. So plain and simple. You have the Knight of Wands, the Three of Swords, and the Seven of Pentacles here. I feel like some of you are just trying to avoid this, the Three of Swords. Three of Swords, it could be heartbreak, grief, sadness, but I don't even think it has to just be in love. I feel like this is what you're trying to avoid. You're trying to avoid being heartbroken. I feel like things have just not gone your way for a long time. Like if you plan to do something, I feel like you set out with these expectations, and maybe that's part of the problem, right? Is that you have an idea in your head of how things are going to work and they never work that way. So I kind of do feel that this is more talking about needing to release the expectations for how something is going to work out in life in general. And it could be including love as well. I think that, this reading is saying if you're one of those people who has a hard time letting go of a relationship, right, after you get out of one, or if you find yourself falling too hard for a person, I feel like you just need to start entering into relationships with no expectations. I think, when we have a hard time letting go, it's because we build up these fantasies in our head before we actually get into a relationship with a person. And I feel like that Three of Swords is kind of like saying you don't actually know what these people do, right? It's like you never know. You might be building up a fantasy about a new person that you're meeting, but it's like 6 months later, maybe you find out that they, do something weird, like clip their toenails in bed, or maybe they eat Cheetos and are always like smell like Cheetos. It's like you don't know that. And so it's like, I think going in with no expectations is the way to be. You have this King of Wands here. I just get this like rushing, trying to get me to rush type of energy off of this King of Wands, or this Knight of Wands, sorry. So I would be careful of that. I wouldn't rush anything. And again, I get analysis here. He is looking at those pentacles and he's saying, is the juice worth the squeeze? Was it worth it for me to grow these pentacles, or is it not worth it? Should I have grown something else, or should I grow something else? So I do feel like you're kind of making a change at this time. You have this hand card. It says, in need of help or assistance. Boom. I literally said that at the beginning of the reading. King of Swords, expert, right? And you have this lobster. It says financial pinch. I feel like everybody's in a financial pinch right now, so that doesn't really surprise me with this energy. But what I would say to you is that I feel an expert could be very, very helpful for you with that King of Wands or the King of Swords. I keep wanting to say King of Wands for some reason. The King of Swords energy here is like an expert, a mentor. King of Swords doesn't even have to cost money. I mean, it could be one of those things where, again, there are like plenty of books, there are plenty of YouTube videos about pretty much everything that exists. So if you find the information, then it could be very valuable to you. You have the Six of Wands, the King of Swords, and the Knight of Swords here. I get a very rushing energy here on the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords, sometimes I think when we have an issue or if we're in a financial pinch or whatever, it's like, I understand, like, trust me, I've been there. I lived my life. I was very successful when I was younger. I had a business that failed, and then for like 3 years, I did nothing, and I had literally no money. I was like in a financial pinch, like significantly. I remember I had an overdrafted bank account to like $800. It was like 20 overdrafts. So it was crazy, right? And it's like, so I've been there. And the Knight of Swords is like trying to rush. It's like trying to force something to happen, which never works. For that 3 years, I was trying like all sorts of stuff. But you know what is funny is like I didn't create anything of quality. I didn't, again, if I'm being super critical of myself, it's like I was just trying to force something through. I wasn't trying to, I wasn't trying to like help people. I wasn't trying to do anything that could add anything to the world, right? And so what did I do? Well, I started this YouTube channel, right? 7 years ago now. And, this is the thing that changed everything for me, basically. So, again, I feel that kind of like looking at it that way, looking at like, how can I be of service? Or you don't even have to be of service. It's like, how can I do something that matters? And that's what I feel like this reading is saying. Every step counts, Leo, right? That first card. And I literally feel this reading is just saying, it's like, how can you do something that is going to matter, right? And how can you do something that has structure? Like I said, for that 3 years, it's like I did so many different things, right? But like I said, it's like thinking back on those things, I just did it for money. I didn't do it for I didn't do it for any other reason because I liked it or anything like that, right? So, I kind of feel like you need to look into that, whatever you're doing. I do feel like this is work or business related for a lot of you. So that's what I'd say there. Again, King of Swords, some sort of expert that could be of assistance. So I would definitely look out for that. You do have the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is a card of excellence. I feel like it's saying that you are good at something. And, again, if you're trying to fix your financial situation, especially, then I feel like you need to look at what you're good at. It's like you're good at something. Just keep doing it. Or maybe, the star card. The star card is about how we present something. And it's like how we package something, right? So it's like, and that's definitely popping to my head. Again, if maybe you already are doing something you're good at, but I feel like the way it's presented, the packaging maybe needs to change here. Very interesting reading. So we're going to see more about this, what's going on here in part 2, which is linked up down below.